Well, hello everybody, it's Rhonee with Whip and Chain. I work with Maggie and Lauren to bring you fun crochet tutorials. Today is a cute one. Today's a request. It's a preemie hat. Gorgeous, has a nice little ribbing around the bottom. And it's easy to change these sizes just by your hook size. We're going to dive right into this. So stay with us and let's make a preemie hat together. Okay, for this preemie hat, I am using, this is a good project because preemie hats are small, obviously. It's a good way to use up some of your scrap yarn, your smaller balls, or you can buy a regular ball, whatever colors you choose. There's different recommendations. There's cotton yarn. There's really softer types of cotton, and they don't seem to pill as easily as acrylic. You can use acrylic, but I wouldn't use yarn that has sparkles in it or shiny. I would stick to regular acrylic. But this is Hobby Lobby yarn, so what I like about it is Hobby Lobby acrylic yarn in general is softer, and it's just beautiful. I love it. It's not that rough, scratchy stuff that you don't want on a newborn's head. And so let's dive into this. Project goes fairly quickly, and they're adorable. I use stitch markers for almost everything, so I don't have to second guess. I am starting with a magic ring. If you do not want to start with a magic ring, you can chain 3 and slip stitch to your first stitch. Now, if you did the chain 2. If you did the magic ring, chain 1 more. And this does not count as anything. And in the center of the ring, I want you to put in 8 half double crochets. Did I forget to mention? I'm using a 5mm hook, so this will probably fit a 3-4 pound preemie. If you need to make them a little larger, go up to a 5.5. If you need to make them a little smaller, go down to maybe like a 4.5. So you can make these different sizes just by changing your hook size, which is very, very nice. I did forget to mention that, and I do apologize. That's 3. This is 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Now, I'm going to pull it semi-closed, but not completely. If you guys have watched my videos long enough to know, I don't usually pull this completely tight till I'm on a couple rounds, just so I can make sure I can see my stitches. That is a very, very good trick. A lot of people don't realize. They think that you have to pull it tight after this round. You do not. Absolutely 100% do not. You can pull it tight after a couple rounds, and then it'll be just fine. So slip stitch into your first stitch. And there we go. Now we're going to chain 2, and that don't count as anything. We're going to put in 2 half doubles in every stitch. So that will land us at 16 half double crochets. Seven and 8, and I'll meet you around, okay? Okay, now I'm going to pull my center tight, and then I'm going to slip stitch to to the first stitch. Next round, chain 2, first stitch, put in 2 half double crochets, next stitch, 1, so then the next stitch, 2, and the next stitch 1, and we're going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of this. Okay, I'm coming around and I have 1 stitch left. I've shown this a couple times, but I want to show it again. But if you really look, it almost looks like you have 2 stitches left, but we only have 1 stitch to put in left. Let me show you a trick. This can work with single crochet, half double, and double. So you wrap, okay? You go in that stitch where you're going to go and wrap. Wrap again and go into that next stitch. Then you wrap and you go through all of them. And you only created 1 more stitch, but you put it together where it's actually very hard to see your join, which is very nice. Just a thought. All right, the next round we're going to chain 2. In that first stitch, I want you to put in 2 half doubles, and then in the next 2 stitches you put in just 1 half double, 1 and 1. And in the next stitch, you put in 2. And in the next 2 stitches, you put in 1 half double in each stitch. And that's a repeat for this round. So it's 2. And then it's 1 and 1. All right. Okay, come around, and then I'm going to slip stitch to my first stitch. So now, just the next 6 rows, if I can keep my stuff on my table, the next 6 rows you're going to match stitch for stitch. You're not increasing, you're not decreasing, you're just matching stitch for stitch for 6 rows. Okay, I'll meet you after there's 6 rows. I am finishing up my 5th round, and I wanted to stop here. Now you can do this whenever. There's no rule on how to do this, but I want the beginning where we have our tail, I want to sew that in. And the whole reason I used the magic ring is so we could sew that in and it'd be nice and tight. Now, for some of our advanced crocheters, if you do not like the seaming line that's in here, and believe it or not, usually only crocheters can notice it, but I'm sure there's some people out there, if they look hard enough, they can find it. You can do this project in the rounds. There's no reason you can't. Totally your choice. All right, so I'm going to turn this right side out. And I want to weave in this end right now so I don't forget. So how I get these tight is I first go in the direction, the same direction. And see how that just closed it up? After I go in the same direction, then I apply it in reverse. And what that does is it locks it in there pretty good. And then if you're doing these for donation hats or just doing them for use, you want to go back and forth a few times because you really want that locked in. You don't want it coming loose. And then you don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to do my 4th row out of my 6 rows, matching stitch for stitch. All right, I'll meet you back. Okay, now we got our hat. So this is going to be the last row. So I want you to chain 2. Now we're going to do a front post, half double crochet, and this is going to give it a little ply in the front. So you take your very first stitch, and they're half double, so you wrap. Very first stitch, you do a front post, wrap, go around, and go through. Then you go to your very next stitch, you go behind, and you grab it, just the whole post, and then the next stitch, front, next stitch, back, next stitch. It's just rotating. Okay, makes it a beautiful edge, and I'll see you around. Okay, and then when you come to the end, you just slip stitch to your first one and chain 1 and cut off. And again, make sure you weave your end in very well. I'm going down a couple rows to weave it in. To make sure it's weaved in very good. And again, you don't want to pull this really tight. And here is your baby hat, preemie hat. Okay. Now, if we measure these, this is about 4 inches by 3. If you go up to a 5.5 millimeter, this should take it to about 5 inches wide by 4 inches. But this is a beautiful hat, and it has a little elasticity, and it will keep a nice preemie baby head nice and warm. Thank you for watching this video. I am Rhonee. I work with Maggie and Lauren to bring you beautiful crochet tutorials. And if you like this and all the others that we're doing, can you please hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom, and come find us on Facebook under WIP for Work in Progress and Chain, and join our fun group. Until next time, everybody, happy crocheting. Bye-bye.